Yeah.
Okay, we're back in session at 10:31. We will start. Call to order, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I salute the flag of the state of Mexico, this is the symbol of perfect friendship among the cultures.
Thank you. And moment just for Memorial Day and salute our veterans that gave their all for our country and our freedom. Approve agenda, moving line item 11 and 12 to after 13. Daniel, are you online? Mr. Soto?
Yes, sir.
Line item 28, the closed session. Would it be allowable for us to add more personnel matters to discuss?
We cannot add those at this moment on the agenda.
All right, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, so move to approve agenda.
So move. Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo. Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes, sorry. Thank you.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Approve regular meeting minutes from last meeting and budget workshop minutes. Motion to approve.
So move. Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Line item 6, recognize visitors and wow. Okay. Start in the audience.
Tim Martinez, IT.
Warden Regina Slade, Viejo Maldonado Detention Center.
Leonard Baca, Colfax County Sheriff.
Rayetta Trujillo, Chief Deputy Clerk.
Lieutenant Ruben Garcia, BMDC.
Leroy Sandoval, Finance Director.
Ambrosia Trujillo, Coordinator for the DWI program.
Amy Romero with MRS.
Alfonso Ortiz, Colfax County Treasurer.
Patricia Duran, Executive Director of CCI.
Thank you, Warden. And Daniel Ivy Soto online.
Yes, sir.
No, just saying you're here. Public comments limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Line item 8, discussion action, indigent care claims. Any discussion? Seeing none, motion,
Move to approve. Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Line item 9, discussion action, resolution 2025-044, transferring various funds. Any questions or discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I've reviewed them, don't have any questions or problems with it.
Okay, seeing none, roll or motion,
So moved.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Line item 10, discussion action, resolution 2025-045, budget adjustment, various funds. Any discussion or comment? Seeing none, oh, do you have
Nope.
one, sir?
I don't have any.
Okay, motion,
So moved.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Moving to line item 13, discussion action, approval of preliminary budget for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I would ask maybe we table this till Justin gets online.
Okay. Motion,
Second,
roll call.
Commissioner Kern,
yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum,
Yes. You want to go ahead and table 11 and 12 till that?
Yes, sir.
We'll move on to line item 14, discussion.
Do we need
oh, we
to?
need to,
Or, excuse me. Motion to move 11 and 12 table till later in the meeting.
So moved.
Second, roll call.
Commissioner Kern, Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum,
Yes. I didn't even see she left. Line item 14, discussion action, Colfax County FY 25-26 travel policy and travel reimbursement form. Discussion, comment?
No, commissioners, you've received everything in your packets, just a normal update from the state. Yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve.
So moved,
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Kern,
yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum,
Yes. Line item 15, discussion action, Wild Divide biannual update.
Good morning. Oh, there we go. Good morning, Commission. I'm Patricia Duran, Executive Director of CCI. I am here to give our biannual update to Commission regarding the Wild Divide and our digital analytics. So these analytics begin from October 1st to March 1st. So over the past 6 months, we had created a significant, or we've seen a significant progress in our growing digital footprint. And I think we set a goal of between 150 to 250,000 people per year reached. And right now, in the from October 1 to March 1st, we reached 75,000 people online. And that is compiled in your updates from our website. Our website only had 680 visitors, but that will go up as we continue to direct people through traffic through social media. But our big pieces that get the most traffic are our social media accounts like Facebook. So Facebook alone in the last 6 months, we've reached 57,000 people. And that does not include how many times that they have seen our post. So if they've seen a post, they've probably seen it at least 1.5 times. And so we're growing. And then the next biggest part of our social media is our TikTok account. And that generally reaches a younger demographic, those that are in the Gen Z generation and millennials who are planning to bring their kids. Now millennials are having children. So that we're reaching a specific demographic for that. In addition to that, we have been refining the website, working with the community, going to events, taking pictures, creating video content, creating a whole database of photos and video for anyone that needs to use them. And we've also been working with our largest tax buys to make sure that everything is on brand with the Wild Divide so that we're directing traffic to the website. You guys will notice on this biannual update that a lot of our traffic is coming from New Mexico, Colorado, Texas, and then Arizona. And then another big portion of that traffic is coming from California, Nevada, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, New York, Michigan, Ohio, and Illinois. There's a bunch more. And then we also did put a screenshot from the Wix website to show you where our traffic is coming from on the website. And it's coming from Facebook directly. And then a lot of people are typing in direct thewilddivide.com into their browsers. And then what was really nice is that when Lodgers Tax had purchased the Ratonian ad, when they were still up and running, we got a lot of traffic from that click from being on the banner. So any Lodgers Tax buys that want to utilize the Wild Divide brand, we'll make sure to direct those to the website. So just seeing that is really cool. And you'll be able to see that, as we get billboards, those other types of things, radio ads, we'll be able to track those specific things. Right now, if our goal is 250,000 people per year, right now we're at 30%. But if it's at 150, then we're at the halfway mark. And we actually anticipate that within the next 6 months, because we're hitting our tourism season for Colfax County, for not just Raton, but for all of, Angel Fire. And then now with the big gravel adventure guide coming out, we're really anticipating to see a huge jump in traffic. And that is all that I have, unless you guys have any questions for me.
Commissioner Kern,
No questions.
Commissioner Trujillo.
I do have one quick question. It is kind of related to the Wild Divide, but the document that you need signed, is that e-signed from Commissioner Tatum or is it signed?
Say that again, sorry.
The document and the emails as far as the New Mexico True Grant?
Yes, so what's gonna happen is I just got an email this morning from Taylor Lawrence from the New Mexico True Co-op team saying that they're gonna change, because it says, I think, a specific name from county, and then they're gonna change it to Todd Tatum and then email it to him directly through DocuSign.
Okay.
So you guys will get a PDF copy just for, just to review it, and then you guys will sign directly on the DocuSign so that we don't have to, put a million copies in and then send it off to the state.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have nothing. Glad to see some of your history notes and expansion of upcoming events.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. All right. That was a brilliant date. Okay, line item 16, discussion action, IGA, AOC, and Colfax County Courthouse matching funds. Discussion. Comment.
I had one quick question. Sheriff, they're looking, and this is just for clarification, they're just looking to do the road pavement, right? And not assist in the redesign of adding on? That's the people. When I read it, I heard the design.
I think it is to be able to split the feasibility study, but not to actually design and build a
Not
building.
Okay,
It's just
so
for the
just the
feasibility study, and then the paving of the parking lot.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And then I guess commission, these monies would come out of general fund for the matching. They're not budgeted for anywhere else.
No, I didn't see any budget for it anywhere, so yeah, it'd come out of general.
We'll probably do a bar at the next meeting to put it into a line item. Okay, thank you.
This is
All right, motion,
I move to approve.
second, roll call,
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes,
Chairman Tatum.
yes.
and Chairman Chaden,
Yes.
I would like to pick up what we tabled for
Okay.
item number 13 at this time, since Justin and Audrey are back on.
I move that we turn to line item 13. Everybody good?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes,
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Okay, line item 13, discussion action approval of preliminary budget for fiscal year 2025-26. Justin or Audrey? Who do we got? Okay, fill my glasses.
Great.
Okay, we're
again,
back.
Commissioners.
Oh, Justin, were you able to email out the update?
I just finished the new allocations. I can, in the next 30 seconds, send those out.
Okay. And then in a minute here, we'll share screen. I just sent the request to IT.
So I just sent those. You should receive them any second in your email. They are the budgets as discussed, including the allocation, the salary schedules and the vacancies list. I did misclick. Please use the version 2 in the second email that I just sent. That includes the updated allocation of the deficit to departments that we were discussing. I did go and add back cuts that had already been made to each general fund department for both salaries and for operating expenditures. So those are just the proportionate amounts after deducting non-recurring expenses and adding back existing cuts. So that's informational only as of right now, but you have the information available for your review. So I'll stand for any questions. You may take some time to take a look at those on your computers.
Mr. Chair, do you want us to share the screen with the
Yes,
update?
please. Yes,
Just a second.
it ain't shifting. Okay,
Okay, so
okay,
I have the version 2 of the file open right now. And the only change is to these columns L through R of the summary tab. If you kind of scroll to the right a little bit, I just did some quick maths. I deducted the current year non-recurring expenditures. I then added back the payroll and the existing cuts to operating expenditures to give them credit. And then I based the proportionate percentage allocations off of that adjusted amount. So if you were to try to get the deficit to 0, these would be the amounts needed in each of those funds that have not been excluded, such as the insurance and probate funds.
So Justin, can you freeze columns A and B?
Oh, yes. That would be helpful.
I think I might be looking at a different email that you sent.
Yeah, so I was going a little fast there. I was trying to do some
loose.
quick math, and I sent the
Okay.
original version first, so I
Delete.
the second email right after that says V2 right
Got
here,
it.
end of the file name, so please look at that one.
Yeah, at the end of this, Justin, will you just resend it me with all the proper,
Yes.
but I got it, thank you.
Right, and so now you can see the departments.
Maybe make it a little bigger.
Well, let me move back to.
There we go.
Oh, better now.
It's a little easier to see now.
National Health NBA Manager's Office. Library.
So Justin, for example, the commission has an allocated share deficit of the 79,000 almost. And so from that amount, do they need to cut further, or that's just the 106 is going to cover that?
So I'll use that as an example. So I gave them credit for 106,000 in existing cuts. I did not give credit for the cut to the attorney fees expenses because that's moving up to salaries. Just as an example, there I have that comment in the purple notation there. And so that means the adjusted recurring budget is 600,000, which is 6% of 9.8 total general fund expenditures. So their allocated share of the 1.3 million deficit is therefore 78,000.
Okay, so maybe let's use clerks as an example. You know, you added back their position cut. But it looks like with that cut, they wipe out their proportion of 62, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
also, you know,
Mathematically, I mean, basically, we're adding it back in and then we're giving a percentage to each of the departments. And then, so if clerks was 62 plus the 15, you know, then roughly the cuts that they gave us for their salary position and some others, it almost takes care of that, right?
yeah, so I'm sorry, just as I think through this, maybe I need to flip the signs on these. Instead of making the number bigger, I should have made it smaller, right? So I think I need to subtract that way, because this number needs to get smaller if they've already made cuts, right?
Yes, correct.
So apologies,
Yeah, no, it's okay. I know we're
changes real
doing
quick.
this just kind of live, and so
So actually,
but I think it's helpful for everyone to see the numbers as we go.
see that reduce that percentage in the commission fund from 6.2 to 4.5. That way they have to, there's less that they now have to reduce as their allocated share.
Okay, but for example, clerks, why did it just go down to 53?
Because clerks had already cut a position, 64,000.
Yeah, they just did that today.
Right, and that therefore, you know, from the numbers we were just looking at, this 53 should have been lower than what it was, because they've already made cuts.
Justin, if I may, it looks like you're giving them and the clerks credit for the 5350 of add back, but I'm with Audrey. I don't see where you're giving them credit for the 64 in
this
for the
column
cut position.
here, I'm subtracting the 64, and then it's because that's the negative amounts here are actually because they increased expenditures. So that's getting added because it's a double sign, subtracting a negative number.
I see. So you're doing it as a deduction, not as a credit. You're doing it up, you're doing it to the recurring adjusted, not to their allocated share of the deficit.
Correct. Yeah. So it's taking the this is the recurring amount in the current year, and then I am subtracting, not adding, the 64 and subtracting the negative 5,350 to get to the 354.
Right, but you're taking the 64 from last year's budget, you're taking it from 25, not from 26.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the column M is the current year, actually. It's FY26 budgeted.
Oh, is that 26 or 25?
It's 26.
Oh, that's 26. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah,
That's helpful to know.
Entertained for a second using the FY25 budget, and there was just going to be too many complexities with that.
Inaccurate.
Yeah, 25s wasn't necessarily the most accurate. So using 26 makes sense to me.
And then column O here, I really just summed up the prior year numbers minus the current year numbers, made a couple tweaks. So that's, you know, the existing cuts to operating is what that's looking at.
Not getting it.
So Justin, I'm not sure that our percentage is working quite right here, because if you multiply it to get the 53, what are you multiplying to get the 53,000 on clerks, for example? Because it would be the recurring adjusted times their percentage, right? Which is the 0.041.
So it's taking up 4%, and it's just multiplying by the deficit over here.
Okay.
And you can see the total right here is equal to that deficit amount.
Okay.
So it's getting to the right total.
Okay, so it's just a pro rata share. So even with them cutting a position, so if they hadn't cut that position, let's say, like if you just deleted that 64,000 there, then they would have still had
61.
Yeah, that doesn't quite make
That doesn't
sense.
make any
So
sense.
I think we need to
Yeah.
rethink the math on this. I'm sorry. I think we need to redo the order of operations here to get to the right amounts, because
Well, let's give Justin a few more minutes with it.
apologies.
Mr. Chairman, perhaps we should go on and with the rest of the agenda for now so that he can work on it without being hurried and everybody watching him.
Motion to return to the agenda, line item 17.
So moved.
Second, okay.
Thank you.
Roll call,
Who made the motion?
Mary. Oh, I did.
Todd did.
Okay, whatever.
Todd did.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Kern?
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo?
Yes.
Chairman Tatum?
Yes. Discussion action resolution 2025-046 firework ban.
Commissioner Kern?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I asked that this be put on the agenda, based upon the report that, emergency manager gave us at our last meeting. Even though we have received some rains and stuff, our index is still, in drought status. So I would ask that the commission approve the fireworks ban at this point in time. It can be lifted or renewed at any point in time.
And I do want to advise the commission that this, if approved, ban is only valid for 30 days, and at that 30 days, the commission would have to reevaluate and reapprove.
Right.
So.
Correct. We would need to look at this again at the second meeting in June.
You have any comments? Mr. Vihil or emergency manager?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Tom Behill, Emergency Management. So as you'll see in my report later, the updated outlook for our region is more positive than it was previously. However, we're still dealing with potential fuel problems with the moisture that we've gotten. Of course, the light flashy fuels have all grown up. We've seen the grass everywhere. It's not going to take much for that grass to dry out, and we are looking at a potential drying change through June until the onset of monsoon season. Monsoon season right now is currently predicted the second week of July. However, they're anticipating a light to moderate monsoon on top of that. So really, we're looking at a critical period coming through June up until the 4th of July. And so I do recommend that we continue with the existing fire ban and look for any additional measures, including the fireworks ban.
Okay. Are the fire chiefs on board with their districts?
I would say about 75% of the fire chiefs are on board with this.
Yeah, my district, you could ban for a while. You know my district, so. Okay, any further questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I may just,
Yes.
although you all made reference to it, the 30-day limitation is a statutory limitation in state law. And so That's why the ban is for no more than 30 days. And so this is one of those things that you probably want to just have it as a standard item on the agendas for a little while for the next 2 to 3 months.
Okay, thank you. All right, any further questions?
I do just want to state, just for the public to know, that this is only for the unincorporated parts of Colfax County. It does not include any incorporated parts.
That is correct. Motion,
So moved.
Second.
roll call?
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum,
Yes. Line item 18, discussion action, office space to Division of Vocational Rehabilitation, New Mexico State Agency.
Commissioners, this was brought forward to me. This was the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation had reached out to me as acting county manager, looking to see if the county had any space available to rent. They're looking for one office, 1 day a week, on Wednesdays. This division works with mostly school-age children that have IEPs, and they're looking to assist our local constituents. If the commission is in favor, I don't know what the pricing will be just yet, and that will be brought back in front of the commission. But my thought was possibly making the space on the first floor next to the men's bathroom available to them. The clerk stuff that's stored in there, we could possibly move up to the office next to the assessors through the server room.
I'm just gonna tell you, you need to look in there because several of our books are in there now, so I don't know, that's gonna have to be a coordination to get those moved and how they're gonna be moved and just relocate those books to that space up there if they will fit in there. You're gonna have to look at it.
Has more been added recently?
More what?
More books?
Mm-mm.
And I have been in there. So is Commissioner Tatum.
Oh, okay. That room. Yeah.
It's up to the commission's prerogative, so commission.
Any comment, Commissioner Kern?
No, sir.
Motion,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
roll call?
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes.
Thank you, commission. And commission, when as this progresses, I'll keep the commission informed, and if they are interested, I'll bring it back in front of the commission for final approval.
Okay. Yep, as long as it falls within our days and times. All right, line item 19, discussion action, Colfax County personnel policy. Have any questions or comments for Sheriff Baca?
I do have questions. And Tim, I don't know if you have access to this, Tim? This document does show up on the screen. IT or Tim? You could go ahead though, Commissioner or Chairman Tatum. If there's nothing further from the rest of the commission.
Commissioner Kern, did you have any questions?
I didn't. I reviewed it. I didn't have any questions.
Yeah, I read it. I didn't have any on it.
Yeah.
the first wave of it in.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, I just wanted to get clearance from also the county attorney. Are we just passing this saying we're okay with this for right now? Because currently it is in ordinance. Or are we just approving this section to move forward? Because I think the ordinance would supersede policy.
That is correct. I think the appropriate motion would be that you approve this pending repeal of the ordinance, and then we'll be bringing in the ordinance repeal as we work on some of the other issues. So part of what we're doing, and I say we really what the sheriff is doing and whatnot is instead of coming in with a 600-page document at one time, right, is coming in with some chunks and not some one of the next chunks. Some of that is still in ordinance. So if we were to repeal the ordinance at this time, it would leave some gaps. But that way this part can be done. So you would either have a choice of approving it now or simply reviewing it now, and then you could approve it later, but you've at least had a chance to look at this separately before the next round of policies that would come in.
So we would work our way through sections of this current policy and then repeal the ordinance, which would then this new policy take effect at that time?
That is correct. And then there is one there. I will note that there is one place in here that probably needs one additional amendment, as the sheriff and I were talking about it. And so again, it would be up to you guys if you want to go ahead and approve it today. We could let you know what that is on the fly, or else we could make that one change highlighted for everybody as we bring it back. But then that way but having had the discussion overall on this part of the policy before we bring in the next set of policies.
Okay. So I did notice on page 3, it does reference the ordinances. So that's what brought up my questions there. So we will need to amend that. Keep going down towards the bottom there. Stop right there. See it just a little bit higher, the personnel policy procedures. It says ordinance.
I'm looking for that. And thank you for catching that. I mean, I show that that this supersedes and replaces, including the ordinances.
I do want to apologize. I've just been busy. So when this got put in front of me, then I did make it a point to double check some things.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but like I said, we can certainly have the conversation about it today, and then you could save this for final adoption when you actually repeal the ordinance.
Okay, that's fine. Page 9 on the pay scale, we'll need to update the definition of that because it references our old pay. Right there.
Yes.
And then section 3.1, it's page 14. Tim, sorry. There we go. So I would like the caveat. I mean, ideally, I would just like the sheriff to be included in this. But at the same point, if it's all elected officials, I think it still needs to come to the commission for approval on the individual offices that before they're taken up from their current position to match the elected official.
And I will tell you, Mr. Chairman, this is the part that after we sent it to be included in the packet, the sheriff and I had a follow-up conversation, and this I think does need a little bit of massaging. I don't think we want to, given where we are budgetarily right now, we want to have that it may, I don't know that we want to have a range. I think we probably just want to set the deputy salary at either to match the elected official who appoints them, or something else where you can just plug in the numbers and it doesn't necessarily change with other variables.
But I'd still like with approval of the commission.
Got it.
But wouldn't commission have final approval anyway, budgetarily, because we have to approve the salary schedule?
So not necessarily within this, because further down on 3.5, it gives the power for them to give a raise as long as they see what it was within their current year budget. And I don't think that needs to be in there, because just because it's within that year's budget is fine, but that doesn't mean it's going to be within next year's budget. So you're committing a reoccurring expense on a one-time budgetary surplus.
So you're proposing to remove 3.5?
No, I just say it needs to come to the commission for any raise. This way that the commission owns it, not, and the commission, because ours is to set budget, and this is an amendment, or this is a change in long-term budget on a temporary budget surplus, if budget is available within that fiscal year.
I mean, I will point out that the way this is written is, first of all, if it's adjustment above 10%, it has to go to the commission. Less than 10%, it's a may be granted by the county commission. And so it does not require you granting it, but I do understand, and given that this policy, it's easier to amend going forward. We might want to adjust that to the current reality, and then at some point we can loosen up. So yeah, we can by we, I mean the sheriff and I can work on some of that language.
Thank you.
And then bring it all back.
Okay. Item 4.2, page 22. So it's item 4.2-15.
Yeah.
Right there. So lump sum payments shall be made within 45 days of date of employee's voluntary or involuntary separation from the county employment. I believe we need to amend that to actually meet state law.
That is correct. Unused annual leave has to be paid out within 5 days, 5 business days.
And then I would like to go to 4.8-1, which is page 26. All right. Yeah, line item 1. I would like just to strike that. I don't know, the last time I checked with Alfonso in the last year, we haven't had anybody, and I've never been known it since we were here, that whoever goes to jury duty pays their pay back to the county.
When I was manager, we did have people serve a couple of different times and stuff, and they gave up their court payment.
Yeah, exactly.
We continued on their county salary, but they did give us their court payment.
Yeah. I just don't think, I find it hard to believe that we haven't had one single county employee in the last year not attend jury duty and pay back into it. So, I mean, did you? Wonder why. Well, I'm fine with leaving that, I guess, but we just need to make sure the county enforces that.
You didn't get picked either.
Only for civil.
God, I do, and I know everyone.
No, Rieta brought up a good point. I believe there is a question on there saying, are you requesting pay? So if they say no, then I think that would axe that part out. But if they do request pay, then the pay needs to be reverted back to the county. It is in their best interest because odds are it's nothing on the county side or the judicial side. But yeah, that's, yeah. The next part is inclement weather, section A, part 31.
What page?
Page 31. And I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't like following the school's schedule. Sometimes the school will be, they'll make delays and do stuff for reasons that do not include weather. Where it's still fine that county employees could still come to work. And then I'll get the argument that what about people that have kids? At that point, the county, you are to be here at 7. It's usually before school starts. And you're here, supposed to be here till 5:30. So after school is released. The city of Raton closes for almost nothing. The county closes for pretty much everything because of this. I've been in violation of this as an acting county manager, including with the sheriff and the emergency manager and roads. I mean, because the way I believe in holding off on employees coming to work is I call the sheriff and sheriff, what is your recommendations? What are your deputies seeing out on the road? Are there road closures? You know, is there an issue with those coming from Cimarron, Miami, Springer that come here, Maxwell, that come here to the county to work? And then alone together and maintenance as well. You know, I'd say the 4 get together and make that call on when the county will be delayed and or closed and not reference to the school. Because it says the local school has determined a delay, the county will follow suit. And it's Raton Public Schools, because, yeah. And that's the last bit of changes that I'd like to see made for this section of stuff. And I apologize, Leonard, for not getting to you ahead of time.
That's all right. And that last part you're talking about, it was changed at one time. And then it went back to the other way. I think because it's under ordinance, we couldn't just change the ordinance.
Yep.
We'll work on that, Sheriff and I.
Yeah. Thank you. Commissioners, are we okay with those changes except for the pay for jury duty?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Commissioner Kern.
Why don't you let us go ahead and bring this back when we bring in the next set of policies. The nice thing is you won't have to review everything here. We'll just point out those specific issues. So it'll be a long document, it'll be a light read. And then you can focus more on the next set of policies. And then at that point, when we repeal the ordinance, you can adopt these policies.
Good. Thank you.
Good. So.
And I just want to point out that this is, I mean, you see how long this is. This has been a lot of work. The sheriff has been putting a lot of time into this. I think the average speed on the roads of Colfax County has gone up by about 3.5 miles an hour while he's been working on this. It's kept him off the roads, but patrolling.
Well, thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate all your help and work you're doing for it. So thank you.
Okay, we'll call that a discussion item. For the next time, line item 20, discussion action, vector control job posting. Discussion, comments?
Commissioners, this is just bringing forward to you to go out for the position of the vector control position. It's going to be capped at $8,000 for the term of the contract. Has the specifications in there. Mr. Sandoval, I believe, is willing to help from time to time, but does not want to take on this position. And just due to the added overtime costs that would be incurred on him. So I leave it up to the commission or open for questions.
Commissioner Kern?
Yeah, I'm in favor of posting it. And as a matter of fact, I think I know of an individual that would be interested in and previously was licensed to do so. So get her done.
Great.
Sounds good. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Line item 20, discussion actor. Oh, excuse me.
21.
I skipped one. Okay, no, I did it. There he is. Table. Okay. 21, discussion action, Colfax County Vector Control Service Agreement between Colfax County and the city of Raton.
So commissioners, this one and the next few ones up to number 25 will be pretty much the same thing.
Yep.
The things that changing is the agreements with the municipalities or organizations in there. We did increase the billing to those individual municipalities or organizations from prior years. We believe this is needed just to help cover the cost of employment, materials, everything else. It's been, when I asked and looked into, we cannot really find the last time it was increased.
Okay. Any questions, comment, Vice Chair?
Can we approve them all?
That's what I was gonna make a motion for.
Is that okay with the clerk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Make a motion to approve line items 21 through 25.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Line item 26, discussion action, quarterly report, BMDC, solid waste, DWI program, maintenance, fire marshal, and emergency management. Do y'all have any questions for any of the above?
I currently do not. The only thing I was gonna ask with the solid waste, it will be pushed on to a next meeting. And like I said, we do have a decent amount of individuals that are not paying that. So what I will suggest to the commission is that what I'll probably do as an acting county manager is send a demand letter, ask them to pay. If we see how that works out, and then if not, I'll come to the commission and ask if we could work with our county attorney and possibly start placing some liens on these properties, at least to that will help with our overall solid waste budget, because it's, if you don't pay it, there's no, I mean, you just go well. So right now.
But current?
No questions. Needs to be done. I think the commission will need to set, parameters around that. Are we gonna file in? I believe it's in our ordinance and policy as well, that they have to be in arrears for a certain amount of time before we can actually place a lien on their property.
Yes.
Yep. Do you have any questions for anyone with their quarterlies?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, seeing none, we will move on.
Would you like?
Okay, Jason, are you ready before we go into closed session? Or Justin, not Jason, Audrey.
Right.
Yeah,
I think we've made the necessary adjustments. Audrey, do you prefer to wait until after closed session, or
Did you have a chance to add roads in there?
I did just add roads, yes.
Okay, then I think we're probably fine to
Okay.
proceed.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to pick up
Okay,
item number 13.
Second,
roll call.
Commissioner Kern,
yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes.
I'm gonna share my screen. I'll show you where we landed on those allocations. So I'm gonna walk you through the math here. Please bear with me and just let me know if any of it needs clarification. But again, you know, we have the recurring expenditures for FY 26. So we took the current expenditures and subtracted out non-recurring, usually capital outlay expenditures. We then added back cuts that had already been made for both payroll and operating. So this gets to the amount before any budget cuts were made, and we based the allocations off of those amounts before cuts. So this was the allocated share of the deficit before any cuts were made. So before any cuts, it was at about $2 million. I did add the road fund to this analysis because it's receiving general fund subsidies. So it's a little bit higher than it would have been 1.8 excluding the road fund for general fund deficit. But now we're at a little under 1.3. So I took, these are the cuts that would have had to been made before. I subtracted out cuts that have been made, which total to 740,000. And for each department, then these are the amounts that would need to be cut still, even after the cuts that have already been made. So that does total to the amount shown over here.
Can you go back and make that column red and maybe bold it so I could see it a little easier?
Yeah, let me try to adjust my zoom.
Thank you.
You guys here. So I'm gonna.
I can see it.
zoom in just
It's a little harder because roads is down below, but
So keep in mind, so roads has 88,000 and cuts still to be made. I'll scroll up so you can see the other departments here.
Justin,
Okay, and this is just the cuts with the employees that we took out, correct?
Yeah, so that's taking into account, you've already removed 243,000 from existing cuts to manager's office, clerks, and the detention center. And there are also 500,000 in cuts that have been made to operating expenditures. Total of 740,000. So before those cuts were made, the deficit would have been 2 million. And after that, we still have 1.3 million. And that's general fund plus road department.
So, I don't know, Justin, do you just want to go ahead and name them off since it's
Yeah, I can read it, and I can hide these columns here too. You can just see the kind of grand totals here.
there we go.
there.
Lot better.
It's a lot of
That
math.
helps.
I apologize for all the math. So county commission is pretty close because they've already made a lot of cuts, just 1,000 remaining. Managers, 84,000, 85,000. Library fund, 400. Maintenance, 148,000. Clerks has already made quite a few cuts, but there's still 26,000. Bureau of Elections, 3,600. Assessors, 124,000. Treasurers, 81,000. Sheriffs, 305,000. Detention center, 307,000. Miscellaneous appropriations, 36,000. Senior citizens, 40,000. special projects, 1,000, vector control, 3,300, emergency management, 14,000, and then road, 89,000. That's if you try to get all the way to a balanced budget.
And this is just reoccurring expenses, not one-time
Yes.
appropriate.
Yeah, we did deduct the capital non-recurring expenditures.
Your chairman.
Okay, so this is just with taking the employees out that we took out. Does this also cover the other cuts that we were making as we went along to individual department lines?
Yeah, so before any cuts, you were at 2 million deficit. And after 740,000 in cuts, you're still at a 1.3 million deficit, or 1.26.
Okay.
And this is what this is the allocated share of that remaining 1.26.
Can you tell me the final dollar amount? 1 point what was the total deficit?
Yeah, and it's slightly different than the version you got, but 1.262 million.
9.2. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
The question on mine, 14,000 additional is a third of my budget. So is that number based upon my budget plus the capital outlay?
No, it doesn't include the pickup.
So then I just question that math.
I do too.
That's a third cut.
We couldn't hear the comments or which department that was.
It was for emergency management.
Oh, the 14,000.
And Tom, do you mind coming to the microphone so they could hear you?
Thank you. Take it.
Maybe you want to show how they arrived at the 14,000. We can unhide those columns for a second here.
Yeah, on emergency management, my question is that 14,000 is equivalent to about 33% of my budget. So is that across the board, everyone else is getting 33% cut, or am I slightly more?
So I think you might have.
Oh, that's because your budget actually increased.
Yeah, it's because because you needed to reduce expenditures, and we actually increased expenditures. That's why it's showing such a large number there.
Maybe we could go to that department itself, Justin, and just take a quick look.
It was probably due to the insurance.
It's one employee, it shouldn't be that.
No, it shouldn't be that much. You're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because of the wildfire suppression. So I think that could be backed out of the calculation here.
Yeah, I think it could, because it's just essentially it doesn't impact reoccurring.
So I could see it at 6,000.
Yeah. And note, this is just the interim budget. You
That is
will.
in line, I think, with the it's about 14%. It needs to be cut across the board.
Essentially, if you work out, we've already gone through pretty well on the operating expenses to hone those in. So they essentially will have to come down to the employees part of it. Would it be safe to say that the average cost of an employee is 65,000?
I don't know, fully loaded Justin, we have an average because of all the insurance and retirement and
I don't think I have that
taxes?
number readily available.
You don't.
It's kind of department dependent.
So,
Hmm.
That's fine. I'm just looking for percentages and other stuff in my head. So, okay.
Justin, did you add back in oh, I see, never mind. I'm seeing the credit now for the Vihil Maldonado. And then we didn't make any changes to the staffing for the sheriff's office?
Correct.
Okay.
And how much does the roads need to cut? 88?
Correct. 89, 90.
So Justin, just please entertain me, and if the commission would please. Can you go to like column U equal 48, line 48, T 48, plus the deficit in VMDC and the deficit in jail?
Okay, can you please repeat?
Yes, deficit in jail and Vihil Maldonado plus roads,
700,000.
roughly.
I think the detention center fund is not included in this because it's a special revenue fund.
You got 306,
So
309.
that's 400,000.
So plus the roads.
Yeah, so it's the 309 plus the 90 is 398 between those two departments.
That includes, so I'm looking for three departments: sheriff, BMDC, and roads.
Okay. So that's 705.
Yeah.
700,000.
Too much.
That's 55% of the total between those three.
Mr. Chairman?
Is there any way that you guys could get us a copy of our budget and then maybe you guys go into executive session, let us take a look at what is in there and see if we can't go in and look at more cuts or something. Guys, I hate for anybody to lose their job, but we've done what we can, but I would like to look again. Put the money back in that we took out and see if there's not something else that I'm missing.
I understand where you're coming from, and I do, but I don't think there's any other way, just because it's 70% of, I'm willing to share it. I have no problem with sharing it. I'm just saying it's 70% of our reoccurring funds comes from employees. Yeah. And that just, if you do an average of 65,000, you're looking at roughly 20 people countywide, which is equivalent to 20%.
And that's including what we've already lost, the one we've already lost.
Correct.
Unless we can go back and we can find 25,000 or something, or some kind of cut, some more cuts in ours.
We also, as a commission, need to make sure each department is going to be able to function on an operational part.
I think you start with cutting in departments that haven't cut. I think we go ahead and cut the senior citizen center back.
And they're,
I know.
well, I'm saying what I think the percentage is, I know it's rough, but I think it's, and I know we may not agree, but this is where I was pulling up those three numbers too, to see if it's, this gets us balanced where we should be. And then the commission between interim and final could meet and see what we want to pull from reserves to patch certain areas, certain departments. What the issue is, it's gonna have to come. And when I say patch, I mean, I'm looking at, just me as a commissioner, I'm looking at roads, jail, and sheriffs. Because if we lose any more from the jail, we cannot function as a jail, and our costs will drastically increase. Roads, we can't compete. Roads are one of the biggest issues with the county too. Commissioner Kearns, like she's got 70% of them. But they are leaving, they get their CDL and they leave. We have two more roads that are getting their CDL. I think that will take them up to 18 an hour, which is probably not factored into this budget either. But still, that's pretty much almost a rounding error. But we will have to reevaluate on a regional basis how to hold and retain employees within those three crucial departments for public safety.
I agree.
But pulling 700 and some thousand from reserves, I mean, that's a lot. That's just my thoughts. So
I think this is a good time to mention, general fund cash is about 9.5 million.
Thank you, Justin.
There are some restrictions in there too, but just
Before
let you
the
know, that's not
requirement.
all that you can just use it. So
Minus our what is it, 3/12?
Yes, so let me.
you have a reserve, some grants, some advanced funding. I think there's some, I want to call them longer term investments, but like CDs and things like that.
This doesn't help us right now, but it could in the future, somewhat and everything. And I am not a proponent of raising taxes, but I do think we need to have a serious conversation about enacting the 1/8 for public safety.
Enacting what? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Enacting the 1/8 GRT tax for public safety.
So I did run those numbers. I'm in favor of it. It will give $300,000 roughly in extra revenue to public safety. That won't be in effect for essentially 2 years if we do move to do that.
We did it now. Be December. I personally, I think it needs to be done, unfortunately, but that would offset that 700,000 to 400,000, which makes it a lot easier to swallow.
Yeah. We would still have to eat that 700 this year, but no, I agree. So if we reduce that to 400,000, that's a number I'm willing to live with pulling from reserves. I was looking less than $500,000 to pull. And then figure out something as far as lobbying, New Mexico County is getting on board because we're probably not the only ones in this situation.
No, there's a lot of counties. I have lots of calls.
Well, commissioners, is there any further discussion on this? Chairman Tatum?
I don't have
Just
anything at this time.
Can you send this budget to us and the previous one we started with before you did all the cuts?
Yeah, I'll send two different versions, one with and one without allocations.
Go ahead and send them to the department heads too, please.
Justin, would it also, would it help any if we moved all of the um assessors appraisers into the 1%? Just taking a portion of their salaries to move. I don't know why they're not all.
Let me check. I think it's already kind of in balance. Yeah, so that's the 1% is already revenues equal expenditures.
And to be honest with you, I think the assessor's office there, if you're having 5 assessors or 5 appraisers, that's a lot to carry. I think it should be, I could I understand that there's, I mean, needing to be an appraiser as a boss, but it could drop.
Mm-hmm.
So what is being actually paid by the 1% is what probably should. But that's, the assessor is gonna have her cut and she'll have to decide that.
Yeah.
And Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to ask about, does the commission plan to hold a special meeting to vote on the interim budget before submission?
I think,
We'll probably have to.
well, I would just approve this today.
Just approve it today.
Prove it today
The
and
interim,
then
so-
continue working on it.
Well, this is gonna be close to what our final budget will be.
Okay.
They anticipate some changes. So what it sounds like is that might be within favor to approve this. The commission reconvene to see what we need to do within certain departments, pull from reserve and submit a final.
So are we we're submitting to DFA the interim budget with the 2.3 deficit? Is that what you're saying? Or are you gonna give us today what to take out of there?
We'll give you today those percentage cuts to balance the budget, is my understanding.
Okay, so it does require a vote.
Correct.
Yeah, it does.
So commissioners. I'll make a motion to approve the budget as presented with percentage cuts. Is there a second?
Down to the 0.
It's the percentage cut for the interim budget, so we have a balanced budget. And then between now and final budget, the commission can meet to work with certain departments.
And then approving a budget that's over.
I'll second it just to get, no, I won't.
Yeah.
You're not good with it.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
No. Pull it back up, please.
Let's hear 1 second.
This needs to be submitted by the end of the month, correct, Audrey?
Yes. And we need time to be able to input everything.
Yeah, I understand, but I don't see submitting a budget that's a 0 and then adding $500,000 back to it.
Well, we would just state, from between the interim and the final, the commission would probably, what I'm thinking is what we were going with earlier, be adding 700,000 from reserves to fund those within that reason, I'm not exactly on a number,
Mhm.
but to help those departments,
That still leaves 562,927 to cut.
no, with the percentage cut up there, it's balanced.
Yeah. And add 700,000 back, you said.
Yeah, so we would submit this as a interim budget where it shows that we will be making these cuts and the balance would be zero. And between now, after this is, if we approve this, between this and final, the commission would meet to decide how much to pull from reserves, if we're going to, and where to place those funds strategically.
What if we cut the safety sensitive departments, roads, sheriff, and the detention center, half of what we've cut them now? And agree to pull the balance of that from reserves to balance the budget.
That's even, fine. It's more of a cut.
It's not.
Well, from what I was proposing. But I'm fine with that. Cause that would just cut we would only have to, we would pull roughly 400,000 from reserves. To, instead of 700.
Well, if you're willing to pull the 700 right now, I don't have a problem with that, but that's not what I was hearing.
No, that's what's my thought was we were gonna, or my intention would be to pass this and then we go back, rediscuss, because we're gonna have to do pay initiative, I guess, because that pay initiatives, how we adjust pay to fill these positions will have to come out of general reserves as well. So when we're saying 700, it's gonna be a lot more. So
Well,
if you're willing to, yeah.
Go ahead, finish.
No, my thought is you are correct there. I mean, if we do cut those in half, pull 350,000 from reserves, that stabilizes that to a degree. And then we still need to pull from general fund to adjust salaries of those critical departments that are on the verge of collapse.
Right, and I would agree with that as well. I'm just, I don't know how, it's gonna be difficult, I think, too, for Audrey and Justin to just, I mean, how are they gonna submit the line items? And I guess unless you just do a flat cut on the line items and then we'll come back and fix it on the final.
Yeah, so we'll need actual numbers. So I can either do, like you said, a cut to every line item, but I think that's not going to be very accurate because certain line items are inflexible. If they're based on some contract or like a lease agreement, for example.
Well, I think
So
these,
impractical.
yeah.
We can include it as is and do a memorandum saying, you know, between interim and final, we anticipate to, you know, bring this deficit within, you know, some manageable amount. And I think if that were 300,000 or 400,000, that's a percentage that the county can outgrow. That's a manageable deficit level.
There's no way you're gonna pull any of those. I mean, besides senior companions, miscellaneous appropriations, vector control and emergency management. Those are the only places you could pull from line items. Everything else is gonna have to come from
It's gonna have to come. from
employees.
Mhm.
So you could adjust those other departments by employees.
Cut one from the treasurers, two from the assessors, two from detention,
And to what?
two from detention.
Okay, Justin, you want to make a note of that? I don't know. Do all commissioners agree? So far, we have two from detention, one from treasurers,
Two
two
from,
from assessors. Is that what you said?
yeah.
Well, I don't think we could state that. I think it needs to be to what those departments' salaries are.
Well, I mean, just as like brainstorming here,
Yeah.
like assessors, two of them maybe would be close to the 124.
If you're looking at $65,000 per employee.
Yeah. And then what was the other one? Oh, detention, Justin, two.
And maintenance couldn't come from employees. That'd have to come from like professional services.
Need to cut one from the manager's office.
For county managers, you have to cut one and then find whatever expenses, allocate the rest to.
Well, then that would.
And all those-
Wipe out the assessor. That would get most of the treasurer. Senior center.
And the rest will just cut. I mean, as far as.
Yeah.
Tom, do you have a preference on where you want that 6,000 to come out of? Okay. I'd say just for now, distribute among line items.
We can make these changes and then would we be able to have some time to do that? Maybe we could just have a really quick special meeting Thursday, Friday, maybe Friday. So you can approve it.
I gotta come in, I think Friday the 30th. It's Friday.
Or
So
Thursday,
you're-
well, we have the 72-hour rule, so.
I have to.
Yeah, if I
come
may just real quick, you've got two options.
Yeah.
If I may real quick, you've got two options on the 72-hour rule. One is
Oh,
you
is
could
it-
set a meeting for Friday afternoon, which would be within 72 hours, or actually under the Open Meetings Act, you can continue this meeting with this current agenda, and you could have the meeting tomorrow or Thursday, or even Friday morning as a continuation of this meeting.
When do I need to sign checks? Thursday or Friday?
Probably Thursday.
Thursday.
Let's do it Thursday
So the
afternoon.
Thursday afternoon works for everybody, so they can get them printed. Okay. We will. Okay. I move that we move this meeting to Thursday afternoon.
No.
And
Well,
continue.
The end,
You'll do that. You'll do that after the closed
Oh.
session.
Okay, after close session.
With all that being said though,
And
can we pull that back up, Justin? I want to see that I don't want to postpone the meeting and then not take action. I just want to see if the commission's in agreements with doing this.
yes, send me that copy, please, so I can do my own math.
yes, please, and then the balance.
And then what you come up with when you're done.
Give the departments,
Yep.
give the departments give them 24 hours to go over their stuff and submit that to JAG, and then we look at it at that point in time.
You know, I want to add 5% management fee to DWI and to, the other one, grant to go into the manager's office for managing and dealing with funds and time. I'm gonna do that. Oh, shit. Everybody's,
I would like to,
our people are suffering. By God, they get up to.
my thought
Well,
is.
we used to do that.
I know,
In
until COVID, I've been back studying.
So the contracts allow,
Do what?
so the contracts for the DWI and
the ones that allow it, not all of the grants allow it.
Yeah,
But
not all of,
to any grant that allows it, I'd say 5%.
okay, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I do have one more question. And everybody that's been around for a while has always heard me say, when it comes to cuts, it's always do more with less. You know, we are the funding source, second funding source for some of the business or entities that are out there. You know, I'm looking up here and I'm seeing where some of them are getting cut 30,000. Then you look at the clerk's budget and we're getting cut 24. Is there not some way that you guys can work with those entities and tell them right now, we can't afford to do that? You know, we're looking at endangering the people at the detention center that are currently working there by having to face the cut. Same thing with the sheriff's department, you know. Maybe they can work with us this time and you guys look at it and say, you know, can we cut you guys a little bit more? Or can we cut you guys some? Because, you know, we're still expected to do our duties and I don't have a problem with us doing our duties because our office will roll up our sleeves and jump in. But maybe, you know, maybe we need to look at some of those entities that we are the second funding source and see if we can support our departments here in the county that actually, you know, are required to perform functions for the county to be able to, for the county to continue to run. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I will state to that, we are cutting some of those. I know the senior centers, they're usually 2 months out. If they don't receive funding, they cut food.
Yeah.
They are already, being cut from non-metro AAA from the federal government is what I've been hearing. They've been taking a big hit. So they're already gonna get hit. USDA, that's, largely to our unincorporated part constituents. That for, ag, for coyotes, everything else, the libraries are pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
What else is in the ag extension office?
Contact them, see how much more they can cut. Are they up there?
Yeah, they're up there. They're gonna be underneath the miscellaneous
Oh,
appropriation.
okay.
And what I would do is I'd go in there and just allocate that as a percentage cut within each of those line items. Probably excluding the extraterritorial zoning, because that is by contract. No, I want that, but it's, and be honest with you, there's only probably 5 people countywide. The majority of the county is pretty young.
Yeah.
And it will go, when layoffs do occur per department, it will go in order of seniority per policy.
And then did we have any on us on the sheriff's office? I think we had 2 on. Oh, that's detention center.
Yeah.
What about SO?
Not on sheriffs.
No. We already did that.
Did we cut any from SO?
No.
Justin?
No.
So Commissioner Kern, did you still want to cut that in half and pull from reserves?
You mean the balance?
Let's see.
He said 300 cut in half and
3,
pulled the 150 from reserves to help alleviate the cut.
Yeah, for now, for the interim, just to get us to where we need to be.
So it's gonna be probably,
Be 3,
I don't
9.
know, yeah, it'd have to be probably 3 on each of them, not 2, unfortunately.
Hmm?
I mean, if you're aiming for half of the 306, 2 positions won't get you there. So I was just saying it would have to be 3.
I'm not saying to cut him. No, not on the sheriffs. He was saying to cut half to ask them to reduce their budget by half that amount and then take the balance out of reserves.
Yeah,
So not in personnel, but in operations.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I understand now.
in reserve funds.
Yeah, half from reserve and half from operating. Okay.
If that's even possible for the sheriff.
And I don't even know if that's possible.
Oh,
Yeah.
Same with the BMDC and roads, right?
yes, sir.
Commissioner Kern?
Yes.
So do we want to take off the 2 on the VMDC part? Thank you.
You know, like Audrey said, no, this is something nobody wants to do. The last thing you want to do is cut staff. And, you know, we had our school budget meeting last week and, you know, we have a staff of 13 and we had to RIF 3. So it's not where you want to go, but when it's 70 to 85% of your budget, there's no other way, you know, and it sickens me because you're asking those that are remaining to do more and more with less and less.
Yep.
And then also the other hard part is the market has just changed so much, as everybody knows, for pay. So sometimes pay is the percentage increase for the marketplace has just gone up astronomically since COVID. So, you know, people that used to be happy with 15 an hour are expecting a whole lot more. And to also find leaders that will stay for low salaries is hard too.
And I believe the county has an excellent benefit package, you know, but as a young individual starting out their employment and that, they're not looking at the benefit package. They're looking at cash in hand and trying to survive with inflation the way it is. And, you know, and I understand it and it's difficult to be a leader to try to figure out how to balance all that.
So did we still want to postpone this or still? Because it sounds like, I mean, this is still the interim. But it sounds like this isn't gonna change that much as far as that dollar amount cut goes. Where it comes from is gonna be, we know the dollar is gonna have to come. Where it comes from, that can be decided later.
I think we give the departments an opportunity to look at it, see what they can do and everything, and we meet Thursday afternoon.
Okay.
That work for y'all, Audrey?
Yes, I'm much more comfortable with that.
Okay, thank you.
And Justin, if you don't mind holding on real quick and leave that screen up there. Commissioners, would you also like to work on 11 and 12 at this time?
Yes.
Item numbers.
Oh. Okay,
And Justin, can you give me a reallocated amount on a percentage of senior centers?
okay, number 11, discussion action, comment of local funds, Colfax senior centers. Okay,
Commissioner Tatum, if you don't mind real quick though.
yeah.
Do we need to,
I
I
was just,
think we need to make a motion to postpone item number 13 till later in the agenda.
okay,
So I'll make that motion.
second, roll call. Good Lord. Bounce, right.
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Okay. All right, discussion action, local funds, Colfax senior citizen. Is 40,000.
So Justin, so the senior centers for Colfax County, their request was 162,000 of the, I guess I could do the math on my end.
Are you saying we need to reduce 40 and allocate it proportionally between the 162 and the 59?
Correct.
Do that
And
real quick.
get a percentage and cut that from that 30.
221.
And if that changes in there, that form we're signing today, there's a clause to say that we may not. We just need to let them know.
It's, I think if you did 29 and 11.
So that's,
And so
oh,
it's
162 minus 29.
that's the reduced amount.
What is that?
133 and 48 for the two contracts respectively.
133 and 48.
And the 133 goes between three of them.
Correct.
Okay,
Raton, Springer, and Cimarron.
12.
What is that divided by 133?
In 40. It's hard to.
44.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's 40.
Can't see it, Justin.
I'm sorry.
They
Yeah.
can't see it. It's too small.
It's 444.
Thank you.
300 for
44, 333. Yeah. 48.
So commissioners, is there any discussion to commitment of local funds to the Colfax County Senior Citizen Centers for the amount of 133,000?
I would support making the cut to the 133 and 48 to Eagle Nest.
Well, I'll just do
it one at a time. Okay. 11, commitment of local funds, Colfax Senior Citizens, Inc., cutting them to 133,000.
So that's a motion. I'll go ahead and second that.
Roll call.
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Line item 12, discussion action, commitment local funds to Eagles Nest Senior Center and cutting them to, in a motion to $48,000.
Commissioner Tatum, I don't know if you're open to an amendment. I'd be open to granting that to 44,333.
Make it equal.
Yep.
I would be fine with that, Commissioner Kern.
I support that.
Okay, change motion, 44 make it equal 44,333. Yeah,
So we have a motion. I'll second.
44,330. Roll call. Sorry, I was making notes.
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Okay. So that will cut the budget on that one, and not much. But come back into general. Did y'all get all that, Audrey, Justin?
I didn't hear the last couple sentences you said, but I did get the 44,333 for each of the 4 senior centers.
That's correct.
Okay.
I'll make those adjustments.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did we miss something else after the senior center comment?
He mentioned any remaining balance will just go back into general.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a
Did-
lot, but every dollar counts at this point. Yes, ma'am, or yes, Vice Chair.
I just want to make sure that clarify that we have cut the other miscellaneous appropriations the same percentage, which would be county extension and USDA.
We probably would need to exclude the ETZ.
Go ahead and pull them up right quick, please.
Okay.
You would, ma'am? Sure.
And just real quick, let me.
Oh, where'd we go?
Sorry, I'm just pulling up the reduction amount for miscellaneous appropriation. That's 35,000. That's the
40.
now we're
Okay.
back to the tab for it.
Okay. Pension service. That is the budget 105.
Justin, you want to do the same workup as you did before? As far as percentages go? And then talking with
we took.
I know Bo with the cooperative extension, this may reduce an employee on their end as well.
Yeah.
Just from the increase in medical costs that they had incurred. They had some reserve, but not much.
And then Justin, you want to add the balance that it would be with that cut?
Okay, what's
And remind me, are we not able to cut from USDA wildlife? Should I exclude that
Is that
line?
a contract?
No, Rika
Cut it.
cut it.
Okay.
yeah.
So the
That's a yearly contract.
what these would be the remaining budget.
What's the top line there?
That's the cut needed.
No, the 21. What is it on the left? The title of it,
Zoom in a
the
little.
line item,
Oh,
Item.
That's the
subscription and dues. There we go.
49. Yeah. What was last year's?
last year is in this column right here.
5. 45, 39, 40. To 33. You what, Vice Chair Kern?
Still trying to figure it all out.
Yes.
Talk to myself, sorry.
No, I do the same thing. I get yelled at a lot for it.
The Regional Library Bookmobile, isn't that funded by the state?
Mhm.
That's not gonna make a difference in their budget, I don't think. I don't know. I don't even know where they go, to be honest.
I don't either.
I think they go to Vermejo. They're parked in Cimarron, right?
No, they come to Maxwell.
Do they?
So they're state funded?
For the majority of it.
Cut them in half.
I think we had an actual amount here. What was
Well, the total amount of miscellaneous appropriate, oh, okay.
Oh, we're-
400? I'll take 400 if that's amenable.
Yeah,
You want me to go ahead and adjust these amounts as well?
well, I'd say split that 400 between the Fred Macron and state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was talking the bookmobile.
You guys want to just do the bookmobile?
Put 'em both.
Cut them both. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
One to cut.
We got that in 200 for each.
so there's that. Yep, that looks all correct then, right?
And do you want me to go ahead and make these changes to over here?
Yes.
Yes, sir. No, but yes.
The bookmobile website says that they serve 25 New Mexico counties with over 100 stops, and the counties and municipalities served contributed over 30,000 per year to assist with funding. So they're like spreading that out over the counties and munis.
Okay.
Hopefully they, even with the drop to 500, they would still come.
And that's roughly
They're
1,000
based
per
in
county.
Cimarron, so I don't think they're gonna leave.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if I ever even see them go by anymore. Okay, so that wiped out that one.
I think, Justin, we might just want to add a column off to the right for the cuts that are made further. Otherwise, it's going to get really confusing.
I think we're done with that. Those just allocates those special appropriations and senior centers that we needed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I think we're good to move on. If the commission's in favor of that.
You have anything else, Vice Chair Kern?
No, sir.
Hey. All ready to go into closed session? Sure.
Make a motion that we enter a closed session pursuant to NMSA 1978 10-15-1H Two, limited personnel matters, BMDC and Colfax County Manager search.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Thank you, ma'am.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Kern, Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Line item 28, discussion. Discussion action. Limited, yes. Personnel matters, EMDC. No action. The only ones in attendance was myself, Commissioner Kern, Soto, and Warden Slade. Line item 29, Mangers Docket.
Do we need to have a motion to table?
I thought we did that before we adjourned.
Gotcha.
Need a motion.
Well, because
when we recess, then we will continue at the budget on Thursday.
we also need to continue on 27 and 28. Yeah.
Okay, motion.
No action was.
Yeah, I said no action was taken.
Yeah, you're fine for now with the announcement, and then you can make the motion on what you'll be hearing on Thursday at the end of the meeting today.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I understood.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Mangers Docket. Oh, sorry, Tim. Yell at me.
Just wanted to. I didn't have the YES program on here. I'm assisting with that. They're working real diligently, working with the state, getting their reporting and that program turned around. We do have a few applicants that have applied for that position. I'm going to be getting with HR to gather up a committee to find a new individual to hire the director position. They have been working with Leroy Sandoval and JAG to update the budgets. I've had a few complaints from the New Mexico Bull Fest, saying that our names, the commissioners, sheriff, and the emergency managers' names were being thrown around, saying that we gave approval to park on private property, on roadways, everything else. I told them that is not the case, and you're welcome to call the sheriff or tow any of the vehicles. The only county involvement with the New Mexico Bull Fest was that we signed off on the liquor license for their event, and that Colfax County Lodgers Funds helped advertise the event. Yeah. So I informed them of that, but I just wanted to let the commission know that not Mrs. Birch, but some other people within that event were throwing our names around. I was contacted a few times over the weekend about it. The city of Raton passed and approved the infant surrender box. So we are in the process of getting that pushed through. At the next meeting, you'll see that come on our bars to put money within that fund from the MCMC fund to purchase the box and get it coming on its way. I'm excited to see that come along. And just a reminder, that is also part of that's being covered by a grant. The gravel grinding booklet that has been a collaboration between the Village of Angel Fire, City of Raton, and Colfax County is completed and will go to printing in the next few weeks. The county, along with the City of Raton, is a recipient of the New Mexico True Advertising Grant. So there will be that coming along. The county did approve to go for that grant, and we were awarded that grant. Our match is going to be about $4,000 that could come from promotional funding from lodgers tax. Commissioners, I stand for any questions.
That funding will be in July, correct? When it's necessary or now?
I have to double check, but
Okay.
yeah.
Because if so, we'll have to do a bar.
Okay.
For this round.
I will double check with finance.
Good.
What's that?
Excuse me real quick. Did you want to also bring up the transitional issue on the payroll with the annual leave?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I've been working with Mr. Sotos. Thank you, Mr. Sotos. The transition period might cause a financial impact to the county. And Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong, but was it stating that perhaps if the commission allows us as a county manager that we would allow up to 5 days of vacation time to be used as a one-time payout to assist with the transitioning period?
Yeah, and actually, I checked with Danielle and looked at the ordinances. It could be either annual leave or sick leave. There's a minimum that people have to have on sick leave if they're going to do a sick leave bank, which is to donate it to someone else. But here they're basically donating it to themselves. So, and it would be, it would be a maximum of 40 hours. That we'd allow someone to donate for that to themselves for that small. We're going to end up with a 1 week pay period, and so that would allow any employee to be able to cash in just for that, to supplement that 1 week pay period up to 40 hours worth of either sick or annual leave, unless you would just want to keep it to annual. That's your call, side, but it could go either way.
Yeah, I would say to annual leave.
Okay.
And it was 40 hours, you said?
40 hours, up to 40 hours, because it's a 40-hour pay period instead of an 80-hour.
But I was going to leave that up to get the commission's feedback and see if that needed to come to in front of the commission, or if it can be done on a acting county manager basis.
Correct.
I mean, I'm fine with you okaying it as acting county manager, but if we want to put it on the agenda as a commission, if that's cleaner, then we could put it on the next meeting.
You need to let them be the second paycheck again also.
Todd, do you have a preference on it?
No, sir.
Daniel, any recommendation?
This is one of those that could go either way. I don't know. There's no legal reason why it would necessarily have to go before the commission, but it's something that certainly one, as acting county manager, we wanted to make sure that the rest of the commission would be aware of before it got implemented.
Also, commission's fine with it. I'll just proceed with acting county manager.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
All right. You through, sir?
I am done.
Vice Chair Kern?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm done. We are going to recess this commission meeting until Thursday afternoon, 3 o'clock,
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, and we will reconvene on the budget and the staffing of VMDC. And with that, I would call for a motion to approve, I guess.
A motion to recess.
Yeah, a motion to recess until Thursday.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, I didn't know if we were looking for a motion or a second. Sorry.
Okay, roll call.
Okay, who's second?
Mary Lou did.
So I did.
Flip a coin.
I think Todd made the motion. I'll second it.
Okay.
That's Mary Lou did. I got a new middle name. Look at that.
What'd you get? Mary alluded?
Looted.
Okay, Commissioner Kern,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Chairman Tatum.
Yes. Adjourn. Or
Reset.
Recess.
That's right.
Okay.